So now I'm going to teach you to do treble stitch, or in American terms that's their double crochet. Okay, so this time I've made 6 chain because I need a slightly bigger loop. So just like before, make your 6 chain, and again just like before, take your hook into your first chain and then pull through both loops to make your circle. Take the arm around the back, the tail around the back. Okay, so we've got our circle again. So now, instead of doing doubles, we're going to do trebles. This is all English terms that I'm using, so obviously trebles would be doubles in American terms. Doubles would be singles. Okay, so the height that we need for a treble is bigger because it's a taller stitch. So before, with the double, we did 1 chain before we carried on with the other stitches. This time we need to do 2 chain. 1, 2. Okay. And then we're going to wrap the yarn round before we go into the circle this time. So before we just went straight into the circle with the hook with the 1 loop on. Now we're going to go into the circle with 2 loops already on the hook. Take the yarn through, yarn over as we call it. So that means to just take the yarn round the hook and pull through another loop. So this is why this one is called the treble in the UK terms, because we've got 3 loops there. Okay, so it's a bit different this time. We're going to pull the yarn through just those first 2 loops, and that's part of the stitch done. And then you've got 2 left on the hook, and you're going to take the yarn over again. So we've put the yarn through it twice, and you can see now you've got quite a bit of a taller stitch there. I mean, for your chain, you can do 3 chain. Sometimes patterns advise you to do 3 chain before a treble. I find 2 is neater, but that's just me. You'll find your own way, it's up to you. Okay, so we've done, now this time, this chain is going to count as a stitch, because what I'm going to show you how to make is a granny square. I think they're quite nice, straightforward things to do with a treble stitch. And you can make lots and lots of things from granny squares. So it's a really nice thing to learn as a beginner because you feel like you've achieved something fairly early on. Okay, so we've got 2 stitches there. So we're just going to do it again. So we're going to wrap the yarn over. We've got 2 loops. Then we're going to take the hook through the big hole in the middle of the chain stitches, pull it back, and then take the yarn over, pull it through 2 stitches, and then yarn it over again and pull it through 2 stitches, and you've made your 3rd stitch. So because we're going to do a granny square, we need to get a way of going around a corner, turning this into a square. And to do that, we're just going to do chain. So you've already learned that stitch, so it's not too difficult. So we're going to do 2 chain. 1, 2. Okay, so you can see I've got those 2 chain. So they're just hanging off the end of that last treble. And then we're going to go back to doing trebles again, back into this ring. So we're going to do 3 trebles. Yeah, so we need another group of 3. So we're going to take the yarn round again to make our next treble. And so we've got 2 loops, go in through the work, through the hole, yarn over, pull it through. So you've got 3 loops. Take the yarn over again, pull it through 2 loops, and the second 2 loops. And what you'll see now is we've got a hole there which forms the corner of the granny square. So the first part of the square, this is how we make it into a square. So we need 2 more trebles. So 1, 2, let's take you through a treble one more time. Take the yarn over, 2 loops, into the big ring in the middle, take the yarn over again, pull it through 3 loops, take the yarn over again, pull through 2 loops, take the yarn over again, pull through another 2 loops. So now you can see we've got a nice little part of a square forming there. So we've got 2 lots of 3 trebles. So to turn the corner again, we're going to need 2 more chain. 1, 2, and then we need 3 more trebles. So yarn over, 2 loops into the big ring in the middle, yarn over, through 2 loops, through 2 loops. Again, yarn over into the big hole, yarn over, 3 on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then again yarn over into the big hole in the middle, pull through 2, pull through 2, and you've got your 3rd lot of trebles. So you can see now we're getting a nice little square forming there. Let's get some more yarn. Okay, and then we want 2 chain for that next corner. 1, 2. I'm going to do the same thing again, so I'll just go through that quickly. Just get this last set of 3. 2 and 3. Okay, so now you can see I've got a nice little square there, each with these corners, and then we're going to slip stitch. So when we've finished, well, we need 2 more chains to finish that corner, and then we're going to slip stitch into that first top of that first treble. So not into the chain, but into the first treble. So when we've got these stitches formed, similarly to when we had the double chains, when you look at the top of the stitch, you see the little V's again. So where the little V is sitting on top of the stitch, that's where you go under both parts of the V. So from this side it looks like that. So we're going to take just that loop. We don't need to yarn over because we're slip stitching. So we're going in through there and then pull the loop through there, and also without yarning over through the other loop, and that's the slip stitch that joins these 2 chain to the top of the first treble. Okay, now to continue, there's different ways of doing the granny square. You could slip stitch to this corner, but I find turning the work over, so we're going to go back the way we came, is I find it easier like that. So if we turn the work over, we're actually going to twist that stitch. So I like to take my hook out and put it back in the other way around once we've turned the work. So keep the yarn to the back, and then we're going to make our 2 chain that makes the height of the treble, and then we're going to go straight into this corner. So this becomes our new loop. So before we were working into this big circle, and now we're going to work into this corner. So we're going to do our trebles again. So we've got that first set of chain counts as a treble, so this will be treble number 2, and this will be treble number 3. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again because we're at the corner to form a corner. So we're going to do 2 chain, 1, 2, and then just like before, but into this new part of the work, we're going to do our 3 treble. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and we've got 2 for the corner. So you can see now how there's another square forming for our granny square. So to get to this other corner, we need a little bit of extra length. So we're going to make 1 chain. We don't need 2 because it's not a corner. And then again, yarn over, and we're going into this new corner hole here. Into there. Do your 3 chain, treble. 1, 2, 3. There we are. 2 chain, 3 treble. So you can see now how to do a corner on the second row. So this is the second row of the work, and how to get from this side to that side by doing 1 chain before you start working into this side. So what I'm going to do now is get one I've nearly finished, just so you don't have to watch me do the whole thing. And then I'm up to the point where I've got my 1 chain. I'm going to just finish this corner. So take the yarn over, go into that corner, make those 3 treble, make the 2 chain, make another 3 treble, and then 1 chain to finish, and then slip stitch again into this V here of the first treble we did. Now, depending what you're making, you can just fasten off at any point. So if you were just going to make a tiny little square, you might want to make lots of these little squares and join them together to make a rug or a mat or something like that, or a blanket. You can do. If you want to carry on, we just do the same thing again. So I would turn the work over, put my hook back in, take the yarn around the back, and again 2 chain for the height of the stitch, and I'd just continue working in. So when we get to this row, we would do 3 trebles or 2 more, because we've got that one into here, and then each time you want to get to the corner, you just do a chain in order to come back into here. 1, 2, 3, and then you know how to do the corner. So when you've got this extra hole here, which is what's different about this row, is you're just going to put 3 trebles in there and join each time with 1 chain, and from there you can grow and grow and grow, and it'll always be in a square, just as big as you want with this granny square, and just practice doing trebles like that. Granny squares are very satisfying to do, and I do think if you're a beginner, it's one of the most encouraging things you can do, because you can actually create something quite quickly without struggling away trying to work into chain, which many of my friends and certainly Sasha agree is much harder than working into a nice big hole and big circle. Okie doke. Well, if you've got any questions, don't forget you can always comment on the bottom of the video and I'll try and help you out. All right.